Welcome back to the Homestand Show. Joining us now is the one, the only Crina Mustafa of the program. Crina, how you doing?
Good. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, not as good as Leylah Fernandez, though, probably.
Yeesh.
Beaten in the first round
That was harsh.
by 15-year-old Mira Andreeva in straight sets at the Madrid Open. You were talking Leylah up a lot the last time you were on here.
Yeah,
What
I
happened?
was. I think, honestly, it's probably the adjustment from hard court to clay. This was Leylah's first clay match since her injury at the French Open last year. So that's
Right.
a long time. It's a whole entire year.
So talk
since she's
about
played on clay.
that adjustment tennis players have to make then from hard court to clay.
Absolutely. It's much slower. Like, the ball bounces differently. Leylah is really good at playing quickly on the hard court, and she just came from the Billie Jean King Cup where she had to play a lot of quick matches. So going from that to slowing down your game a lot, I think is a bit tougher. Also, put into effect the jet lag from traveling from Vancouver to Madrid was probably not easy either.
Sounds like a lot of
jet lag's a
excuses.
bit of a-
Sounds like a lot
You
of
say-
Listen, I had jet lag, okay? I had jet lag just from Vancouver
conspiracy
to Toronto.
Justin was talking nonsense before about the whole.
yeah.
He was going.
I'm
in on
just saying, it's
conspiracy.
not the factor, but it's probably a factor. She's
Yeah.
probably tired. Like, she said she was tired from her match.
So moving forward, you're not overly concerned about Leylah's play.
No, I don't. I think she'll get used to it. She's pretty good on clay too. She won the French Open as a junior. So
Right.
Yeah.
13-9 though in the season, right? So
Mhm.
far this season, she's not playing great tennis at the moment.
Yeah,
It's a matter of time.
not to the level that she probably would hope to, but I'm hoping she warms up on the clay.
So where do you put her in terms of heading into the French Open?
Yeah.
Where do you rank her?
So I have my rankings here. I have her at third behind Bianca and Felix. I still have
Within
all my
Canadian players. we should
Canadian-
Yes,
clarify
Canadian.
here,
Let's
yes.
clarify. Let's clarify.
Really? Third?
No, it's Canadian power rankings. I've got Bianca first just because I still think she's the best player out of this group. I've been really excited with her level before her injury, and now that she seems to be okay. So I'm pretty confident with her going into the clay season.
Mhm.
I still have Felix at second because even though he's also coming back from injury, he's the second most talented player out of this Canadian squad. I can't put Leylah 2 down. I've got Rebecca Marino in fourth. She won her first round match just yesterday, I think, and she's playing in the second round soon. Then Chapeau, and then Eugenie Bouchard, who is currently playing. We don't know yet.
I want to just ask a quick question about your rankings. Great rankings, by the way. But because
Thanks, Justin.
yeah, no problem. But because
Explain why
Bianca's
they're great.
Yeah.
because Bianca's injury history has been a long list. She can never seem to stay healthy since she won the U.S. Open. But you still have that much faith in her that she's still the number one player, eh? Why is that? But
To be fair, she had injuries even before she won the U.S. Open. She's kind of been struggling with that a lot. I still think, like, just her based on her game. She's so versatile. She adapts to her opponents. She's not afraid to go to the net. She's not afraid to play on the baseline. I think her set of skills is well adapted for any opponent that she faces. And like I said, I think she's shown that her level is maybe not fully back, but it still is there. And I still think she has the most potential.
At plus 3,000, you can get Leylah Fernandez to win the French Open.
The reason for that, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I would take that. But,
No, so you're giving her no shot to win this French Open this year.
No.
Who's going to win it then?
It also, who's going to win? Probably Iga. I'd say Iga repeats.
Yeah, she's favored about minus 110.
Yeah.
So it's pretty. The money isn't great.
She's
in terms of
defending
that.
champ. I mean, she just won in Stuttgart, so I think she repeats.
Yeah. On the men's side, there's tons of talk. We were talking about some clickbaity headlines that I was reading about Rafael Nadal
Speechless.
shocking the tennis world with not going to the Madrid Open.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll be ready in time for the French Open?
I really want him to be, but I don't think so. I think the fact that he skipped out on Barcelona, he's not playing Madrid. I mean, these are his tournaments.
Yeah.
And the fact that he might not be able to play that much before the French Open, maybe he does squeak in. I'm sure that he can, but I'm really not that positive that he will be able to, which makes me sad because I'm like on the board that I think this might be his last year in tennis.
Yeah, I was going to say this is the beginning of the end, isn't it?
I
For
think
him.
so, yeah, which is
that
super
generation, that
unfortunate.
era of the Federers,
Mhm.
Nadals. Djokovic is still there.
Yeah,
but,
he's still there.
It's kind of the end, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sad.
it's very sad.
I feel like
Will
that's
we-
the one
will we
everyone's
look back
hanging
on
on
this-
to.
Hmm?
It's Nadal.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But do you think we'll look back on that era as the greatest era in men's tennis, the most dominant era, with three guys just beat absolutely everyone? There's been great eras in the past. I'm
Yeah.
not putting down Pete Sampras
Mm-hmm.
or
Agassi.
McEnroe.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, these three to play at the same time,
Yes.
I don't know if we'll see that again.
Yeah, you have to look at that and just like appreciate the greatness of those rivalries and the way that they've shown out throughout history and put on such like historic matchups. It makes me really sad. Like I'm getting like all emotional here thinking about like Rafa. Like I cried when Roger retired.
Yeah.
It's just too many injuries for Rafa.
Yeah.
This can't hold up, right?
And it's
His
been like
knees,
that his whole
back.
career, to be fair, but like he is getting older, and I'm just not seeing, even when he was back like at the Australian Open this year, he still wasn't quite at the level that he was last year.
But that's the
before
thing too, right? When
injury.
do you call it quits? When your compete level is not at what it needs to be. When you think of Rafa, you think of one of the best in the world. You're not going to see him go out
one
there
of the most
and
fiery
lose early on
competitors
in the French
tennis,
Open.
right? So again, I want to ask you this. Give me your dark horse on the men's side to win, because I'm trying to put a bet down that's got some decent money. Who do you think? Like
I know Crina's all in on Carlos.
I mean, here's the
plus
thing.
130,
I think
Carlos?
Carlos, I'm looking at your list here. You have Carlos, you have Tsitsipas. Those two just faced off against each other. Where
I'll put it
Yannick
Yannick
Sinner,
Sinner.
yeah, he's a good one too. Even Holger Rune at plus 1200 here. I think those are all good bets. They're really young, they're fun. They've shown that they've already, each of them have won a couple of really big tournaments. I think they're the next generation and they're here already. Especially with Novak Djokovic kind of struggling with an elbow injury right now. We're not really sure like where he's at. He's played a couple of clay matches, but he hasn't quite looked to the level that he normally is. So honestly, either Carlos, Holger Rune, or Yannick Sinner,
Okay.
I'd say.
I was really hoping you'd say 55-1 Felix, but
He's coming back from a knee injury. We got to temper expectations a little bit. I think I've
He's probably
learned
one of
with
my favorite
Felix,
players
if
right
I
now.
put
Yeah.
the expectations on him, he doesn't do too well. So I'm just going to lay off a little bit. and-
Okay,
Yannick
so-
Sinner. Watch out for him.
Yes.
I just love his name.
Yes.
That's why I picked him, Yannick Sinner.
Same reason.
let's transition to the NBA. And something you wanted to touch on was parity in the NBA, and it really is making these NBA playoffs completely unpredictable. I mean, you look at the Suns Clippers series, and you can understand why that was so lopsided, considering what we now know about Kawhi Leonard, the Paul George situation, yada yada yada. But do you agree that the parity has made this not only unpredictable, but actually much more enjoyable to watch?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the Miami Heat as an example. The Raptors lost them in the play, and now look at them. They're up 3-1 against the Milwaukee Bucks, who are the number one seed in the
Jimmy
East.
Butler, that's why.
I know.
Yeah, and to me, it's more fun, especially when you don't have like a rooting interest in any of the teams. It's a lot more fun than to have like these dominant teams when you had like Warriors, Cavs every single year. Whereas like this time, there are a lot of top teams that are on the brink of being eliminated, and I think that's extremely fun and really good for the sport too.
What do you think about the injuries though? Because injuries have had a big factor in every season. Joel Embiid's been out. Of course, Giannis missed time. John Morant. That to me has also been a play in this parity where we've seen top players in the NBA miss time. And I want to ask you this, because we talked about it on Hoop Talks before. I think it's because guys load manage and they're not conditioned to play playoff basketball, right? Do you kind of see what I'm saying?
I'd argue the opposite is that they're playing too many games and that you're beating them down, and then by the time they get to the playoffs, they're not like well enough to be able to participate in such
Larry
long
Bird and
stints.
Magic are just shaking their heads right now.
Exactly. Michael
Really?
Jordan is
These-
punching air.
But
right
here's
now.
the thing, like on the injuries topic, yes, it's been a little bit difficult to keep seeing these star players getting injured, but at the same time, it is a part of the game and it is something that happens every year. I think because there is a lot of parity, it's getting put a bit on more of a display. But if you think about like the recent years of the championship teams and matchups, like there have been loads of injuries from important players and still things played out the way they played out. So I take it with a grain of salt that yes, it does suck, but it is still part of the sport.
Yeah, and
what
this
happens.
parity as well, going back to that, can benefit teams that don't have superstars. This is what Masai Ujiri was talking about, parity. He goes, if I can put together a team because of the parity in the league, we can be one of these teams that can potentially make a deep run into the NBA playoffs. But it's the truth. You put together a strong team. You don't necessarily need superstars to make a run.
But look at all the teams that are up in their series right now. They all have superstar caliber players.
Yeah, I mean, I still think you need a superstar, but I think it's more to the point that the pieces around the superstar
have to
are
fit.
like almost just as important as having that one guy who can get you everything.
I want to ask you this. Which one player or one team that's really caught your eye this playoffs? That's been really super impressive.
The New York Knicks. I mean,
How about how about their fans?
they're great.
Love it.
I think it's great. I love it. I mean, I think I'd
Passion.
like maybe relax on the prices of the tickets a little bit. I know people have like their opinions on that, but no, I love it. I said when I went on Hoop Talks at the end of the season and you guys asked me like who my team was of the season that I thought was like super surprising and fun, I said the Knicks, and like here they are, 3-1 on the Cavs, which I don't think a lot of people would have predicted, but I think they've been playing good basketball at the right time. They've been peaking at the right time, and it's shown why they're up in this series.
This might be an easy one to answer, but most team likely to overcome a 3-1 deficit at them right now. Is it the Bucks
The Bucks.
or is it the Cavs?
It's probably the Bucks. Just because of
It's just
the
Giannis
Bucks are
alone?
they have Giannis, like they were the number one team in the East for a reason. I think like you said earlier, like the Heat have to rely on Jimmy to have another performance. Like
Kyle's
that,
been pretty
so,
good though too.
Yeah, he
Defensively,
has.
he's been good.
Let me ask you this about your boy, Dylan Brooks.
Why is he my boy?
Wow.
I just said he is because you guys are both from the GTA. So.
What?
Anyway, what are your thoughts on Dylan Brooks and him poking the bear and LeBron absolutely sunning
What a
him?
clown.
I don't know. I don't really like that stuff, to
What
be
a
honest.
clown.
No, because then he's not. My problem with him is like now he just doesn't want to talk to the media at all. Which usually on that topic, I'm more than okay being lenient with players, but you can't talk that talk and then once you start losing, you're like, I don't want to do this.
It's okay to talk, but you have to show up. You have to back
He
it
doesn't
up,
show-
and then you can't go to the media and say, no, I'm out, and not talk to the media.
Yes,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? I hate that side
Yeah.
of the game if you're one of those players.
Reports rather that they tried to trade Dylan Brooks to the Raptors in a potential
that'd be
OG
cool.
Okay,
Anunoby
stop.
No,
trade.
thank you.
Hey, I'm just saying, Masai, if you want to change the culture,
There's also reports of him going to China.
That's
That's not
more
going to
likely.
happen.
That's
He's
more
going to
likely.
stay in the NBA.
Yeah,
You
probably.
would think so.
Yeah, I would think. I
He's
think
a
he's gonna go to the Lakers. Actually,
Horrible offensive player. Who? Dylan Brooks?
Watch, he's gonna go to the Lakers.
Why do you say
Okay,
that?
Justin.
I have no idea. I just have a feeling it's gonna
He's
happen.
just
Conspiracy.
saying
Nice
that.
to say.
It's
Yeah.
a conspiracy.
We've got a
LeBron,
conspiracy.
LeBron is conspiring against the Memphis Grizzlies, and he's gonna recruit Dylan
LeBron
Brooks.
and the Lakers are probably going to win the
Okay,
championship.
okay.
Maybe, and I'm here for it.
Agree? Disagree?
I don't know. We'll see.
You have to acknowledge the king then.
I don't want to acknowledge anybody. Come on, Albert. Let's wrap this up.
No, I want to hear a quick prediction who's going to win the NBA championship.
I still think Celtics.
The Celtics.
Ugh.
Yes.
Aye.
Favorites plus 210.
Okay, plus 210.